Cool. All right. So now we're recording everything on there. So once he jumps in, we'll just go. We'll just be set.
Sounds good.
Sweet. Cool, man. So I got my notes and I got you up. I'm good to go.
Badass.
So how you been, man? Good?
Yeah, dude. Just same old shit. Playing some shows, writing some tunes, you know.
True.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink a beer.
I'm jealous. I don't have any today.
Oh wow, the tables have turned.
I know, right? I am gonna go grab some weed though.
Good, thank God.
All right.
Yeah, I got mine too.
Good. It just wouldn't be right.
Yeah. Heading to Florida tomorrow.
Yeah? Getting out of that cold weather?
Yep.
That's good.
Getting out for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, we start our boss's daughter tour tomorrow.
Oh yeah?
Yep. Doing like a 10-day thing up in the Northwest.
Sweet.
Yeah.
In San Francisco and shit, right?
Yeah, doing the Bay as well. Yeah.
That's where they're from originally, but apparently he moved.
Oh yeah, is he down in SoCal now or something?
I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, he is on Central Time, right?
Oh right. Yeah, I saw that Nashville note that you had there.
I saw somewhere where he said something about I just moved to Nashville.
Oh weird. That's
in
cool.
some kind of video or whatever. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't know about that. Nashville's a cool town though.
Right. I'm going to start off by asking him that. First of all, where he is.
Yeah.
And if so, yeah, because I'm planning a move soon. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm trying to. That's why I'm going down to Florida. I'm just trying to peep it out.
Yeah. I know you're talking about some shirt opportunity you had down there or something, right?
Yeah, but my buddy, I mean, everybody's been telling me all kinds of different things, like Asheville, North Carolina is a great hipster like new place, and then
yeah, it's a cool town.
Nashville has been brought up on a couple occasions. So
also a cool town, yeah.
Because I guess L.A. and New York, it's getting to be where you could kind of be in some other spots and get stuff done. Thank you, Internet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Asheville's a good spot. Every time Vampires tour through Asheville, those kids go nuts for us. So
yeah,
we've always liked that town a lot.
It's pretty chill there, though, right?
Yeah. It's really mellow. I mean,
I like it kind of crazy though.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the big city feel at all. There in North Carolina, but
yeah, I'd be bored, I think.
Yeah, it might get boring after a while.
Yeah. So did you enjoy the face-to-face record?
I did, yeah. That shit rips, man.
It's fucking awesome, right?
It definitely lived up to everything I wanted from a face-to-face record.
Me too.
Yeah, it's good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I've listened to it like 5 or 6 times now in like 2 days. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm up to like 20 times, man. Conservatively.
Damn. Yeah.
Conservatively, I've listened to it at least 15 times, at least.
That's rad. Yeah, it's good, man. It definitely sounds like the self-titled record or Big Choice or something. Like it's got that old feel.
Yeah, there's like this huge resurgence, like Millencolin and No Effects and all these bands. Bouncing Souls just got done recording their record, right? It's like all these 90s bands are coming back with a vengeance,
Yeah. Doing good shit too. Like that last Lagwagon record was fucking great.
Hell yeah.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, there's some good shit coming out right now.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, not to mention Metallica, like something totally different, but Metallica, Megadeth just came out with a new album, right?
Yep. Slayer did a new record. It's their record's not bad actually. It sounds like a Slayer record.
Repentless, yeah. It's good.
Yeah,
it's all right. I like the title track and the video is awesome.
Yeah, that video is pretty intense. No doubt about that.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I hope Trevor jumps on here okay. Ben Weasel's like, it says this may go to the internet. This is going to be recorded video or something like that. I was like, dude, we'll do Skype, dude.
Like he's against Google.
Yeah. So I just hope we don't have any problems like that.
Right. Well, I think Ben Weasel might be the extreme example.
Yeah, I think hopefully Trevor just jumps on. Everything's cool.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, God.
What was that? I can't remember what you're referring to at the end of Disconnected. The producer, what's he say?
Don't you remember that, man? In the
Big Choice version?
Yeah. You know how they had that discussion with the producer, and he goes, you guys don't talk to me about selling out. I run a fucking record company.
Oh right, and they don't want to re-record the song or whatever, right? Like
yeah, he's like, there's not a goddamn chance that's going on this record. Then it's like, boom. So I want to be like, did that really happen?
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a good one.
I bet you that's going to be cliche though. I figure a lot of people will ask him that. I bet
could be. Yeah.
But
yeah, I tried to avoid some of those just like standard like interview questions that you get all the time. Just
I see. You got to have fun. You got to be. I
tried to get more specific about certain things, like just like what kind of vehicle do you travel in, and like what was the history of that? Like that's something that interests me for sure. Like,
but I've been thinking about it. It's like sales though. You don't want to. You don't want to make everything about you, but you want to like ask them about that, but then mention that you're in a band and you travel around in the fart bus.
Yeah.
In order to relate and build rapport with him.
Totally.
So,
yeah.
So bring that up.
Yeah. Like we've been through all kinds of different bands, so I'm curious where they've been at. Totally. Yeah, we drank all our beer last night.
Come on. Let's do this. Two viewers. People go watch this actually.
Oh, on the internet?
Yeah.
You can what? Is it like stream on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just started snowing over here.
Is it? Yeah. Hopefully we don't have any weather this week. I haven't actually looked at it. I should. Just the traveling and all.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one coming out next Monday? Is that what we're thinking?
This Monday, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Hey,
oh yeah. What's up, Trevor?
what's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for being on Dying Scene Radio. I'm Bobby Pickles, and my co-host this week is Chris Fox. Say what's up, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
How's it going, Trevor? Nice to meet you. Great.
And hey, obviously we're speaking with Trever Keith, the man with two first names. Man, lead singer of my favorite band of all time, Face to Face. And you know what? I'm not just bullshitting you, Mr. Keith. I'm super happy and excited to talk to you, man. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
You guys, you're in Central Time, huh?
Yeah, I live in Nashville.
I know. I think I saw that somewhere. You mentioned that in some kind of video I was watching as research. Why did you move to Nashville? Is a big hipster population growing there or something?
Yeah, it has been. I've been here for about 6 years now. So when I came here, it was actually a little bit less crowded, which was really nice. And it was one of the things that drew me here is like, you know, having a little bit of extra space and not having all the traffic and the smog and it's less expensive and all that good stuff. But that's all kind of going away here now. It's crowded and it's getting more expensive and there's traffic. So I don't know. It might be time to jump again. I'm not sure.
Wait. So I actually there's a little hiccup in the internet connection just there for a second. So you said there was a bunch of traffic and stuff like that, and so you moved out of the big city, basically?
Yeah, I mean, and Nashville's just cool. It's got a really cool art scene. There's a lot of, you know, musicians and different people around, and it's just a cool place, and it's definitely a big change of pace from Southern California. So it was just time for a change.
Well, you guys got a new record, and that's why you're talking to us right now. And we want to talk about Protection. It's out March 4th via Fat Records, and it's your first album on Fat Wreck since Don't Turn Away. Why was that? Why are you returning to the label of old?
Well, we like to just do one record every 23 or so years with different records. So next up is Victory Records, Victory Music, I should say. Now,
Right.
And on down the line.
We should have thought of it a long time. I mean, you know, it's stupid. We were getting ready to make the record, and we were writing songs and kind of talking about where we should do it. And I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Fat and see if they want to put our record out. And Erin was so cool about it immediately, and then she heard some of our demos and she told Mike about it, and then Mike was like, yeah, come on back, awesome. So it was such an easy thing. It's like I've been kind of kicking myself like, why didn't we think of this like 5 or 6 years ago? Would have been perfect timing. But I'm glad it happened, you know. I'm glad that we're doing it because everybody's been really easy to work with and super cool and really supportive about the album. So I think it's going to be awesome putting the record out with them.
That's rad. I was gonna ask, like you've been on many different labels throughout the years, like even like your own. You've done some stuff with your own label.
Yeah.
How's the experience differed across like major labels versus independents? Like,
well,
was there any advantage to each one?
They have their strengths and weaknesses. What I like best about being on Fat right now is that everything's easy. Like, you know, they just celebrated their 25th year anniversary.
Well, right. 24th, but
technically 24th. Yeah, I'm hip to that joke. And this is our 25th year as a band this year. So, right. You know, these are people that have been doing this for a very long time, and they just kind of know how to do it, and they know how to market records and get them to the people that are fans of this kind of music. So everything has just been so easy so far. Like, what I found working at major labels is I felt like we were constantly trying to educate the people there. Like, no, this is what a punk rock fan wants. Like,
right.
You know, don't make the vinyl as a promo. Let's just make the record on vinyl because they're going to want to buy it. You know, like,
yeah.
Don't put the big hole in the 7-inch or, you know, I don't know. You were constantly bumping up against stupid shit because people just didn't get it, you know.
Right.
And when you're at an indie label, they get it. You know, the record we put out before this with Rise, like everybody at Rise Records gets it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
but it's cool being with Fat because we're alumni of Fat. It's our era. It's our kind of group and our social scene of punk rock coming up as a 90s band, and we're in good company. I mean, there's new bands there too and stuff, but it's also we're in good company being with classic 90s punk rock bands like Lagwagon and Strung Out, NoFX, and other bands I'm probably not thinking of, Propaganda, what have you.
Absolutely.
It just works, and I think the public, the fans of punk rock, it's just easier for them to connect the dots too.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think you like benefited from trying out other opportunities over the years, or like rather than just like staying on Fat Records the entire time, like Lagwagon or?
Well, yeah, I do actually, because in the early days it was important for us to go outside of Fat, and not because Fat wasn't a good label, but they were new and we were new.
Right.
We're kind of coming up at the same time, and I think we were one of the only early bands that put a record out on Fat, and then we left, and then we were able to parlay that into a career where we could like go on tour. And I was trying to like not have to work at a job. I wanted to make a job playing music and making records. And I think we were able to take a quicker path to that by not experimenting with a new label and being a new band. But, it wasn't without its drawbacks, too. There was a lot of bullshit that comes along with being on a major, or even worse, being on a small label that has major distribution but doesn't have the power and the backing of a major, which was kind of where we were with Big Choice and with the self-titled record. So
Right.
I got a question. How is the record making experience different on this one as opposed to, let's say, Ignorance is Bliss, which in your own words, not mine, you said everybody hated when you and you spent a lot of time and money and energy making a very layered record. Obviously this was produced by Bill Stevenson, Jason Livermore. We saw the live streams of you cutting vocal tracks via Periscope. What was it like recording at the blasting room? I guess it was kind of two questions in one. The difference with like the Ignorance is Bliss record and this one, was there a total difference there?
Oh, it was completely different. Ignorance is Bliss was really the first record where we had enough of a budget and an opportunity to spend a lot of time in the studio. Up until that point, we were making records pretty quick. We were doing, we do a record like in 2 weeks or something, or that's actually kind of long, and that would be including mixing and everything. So I think we spent maybe 6 weeks or longer. I can't remember now. It's been too long. But we had the budget and the opportunity to really like try different production techniques, rent a bunch of different amps. We used 2 or 3 different drum sets. Like that was sort of our bloated kind of like rock star-ish record. From a production standpoint, anyway. I mean, I think the record's great, and I love the songs on it. I love the production, but this record was more of a back-to-basics approach, with the exception of the fact that we worked with Bill and Jason, who are, super pro and awesome. They already have like a full-on, like a record factory kind of setup there, and you just kind of plug into their system, and everything goes really quick, because they make punk rock records, and they can't.
So they're like McDonald's?
Totally. And we were the McDLT, which has been discontinued.
Hell yeah, man.
No, in a way, I mean, there's a little bit, there's a system. It's just because they've made enough records to know better, like, here's how we can most efficiently get the record done. So we did do pre-production all together, but, when it came time to do the instruments, Bill was like, okay, so we'll do drums this day, and then we'll do bass over in this room, and then we'll do guitars. And I was like, whoa, wait, dude, we're old. We're like used to doing shit the older way, even before Pro Tools and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm old like that too. Cool. If you guys, as long as you guys can play your instruments, then we'll do it the old way. But he's so used to, and this is no knock on younger bands, but it's just a way that people do stuff because it's easier. Younger bands are accustomed to recording everything individually, and I don't know if it's bullshit or not, but I like being able to record some of the instruments at the same time because I think you get a vibe, So we at least did bass and drums together in the same room. And they went down at the same time, and then guitars were overdubbed, and then vocals and all that stuff. But it's very set up the way that you work there. So what normally might have taken a band, twice as long, only took half the time to record this record, and it was great. So we were able to spend less time fucking around, like trying to get settings on the amps or trying to get the perfect vocal sound. They already kind of knew what stuff they liked and what to go to, and we were able to spend more time on the actual takes, and then on the actual like creating, like coming up with cool melodies and harmonies and stuff for the vocals and that type of stuff. It was great. I mean, Bill's an intense dude, and that part was fun.
Hell yeah!
There's a lot. There were gallons
Did
of coffee going on. And,
you see the documentary, the Film Age documentary?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, he's such a crazy genius. There was no recording to tape, no analog, nothing like that. It's just you go into the McDonald's factory and it's all digi, right?
No, I don't want to be the guy that said that the black McDonald's. Man. That's
I'm just joking. Come on, this is with all with good taste. We love and respect Bill Stevenson, the Blasting Room, Jason Livermore. I love this record. I mean, the protection is so great, so awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, why don't you save me from all the butt kissing, man? You got a question?
Yeah. Did you guys have any conflicts like between members when you were coming up with songs and writing, like just about certain parts, like just normal songwriting conflicts, like anything there?
I wouldn't say it was. There wasn't any real conflicts, but I'll say this. I wrote here, and Scott was in L.A., and he wrote there, and we're kind of the two principal songwriters and have been for a while. So he really got after it sooner than I did, and what was was kind of a blessing and a curse for me is like he literally wrote like 30 songs, or maybe more. I think at one point it was getting closer to 40. And he would demo all these songs up on his iPad in his living room, and then just send me these songs that were, just completely fleshed out. And I'm like, what else can I do with this song? Like, he would play the melody lines on the guitar and everything. And that was a little bit hard to figure out how I could fit into that process in terms of collaborating. And then I wrote here, but like I said, he got after it a lot quicker than me, and I was kind of a lagger, like that kid that has a book report due, and then like the night before I'm just like going through the crib notes on it. So
Absolutely.
I kind of waited till the last minute like I usually do on an album, and I had to just kind of pick my favorites of Scott's, like 30 or 40 ideas, and then mix those with the ideas that I had that I thought were really strong. And then the three of us got together, just me, Scott, and Danny, in a rehearsal studio for only 2 or 3 days. And that's the first time we played the songs together as a band, and that's where we really got to bang everything out. But we get along pretty good in this band. There was really no fighting or anything. I mean, we were joking like this will be the record that breaks us up, and then it was a love fest through the entire recording. So it was really fun. It was really fun the whole time.
I think it shows on the record too.
If I could add anything to that, and I know I'm babbling forever, but one thing that was cool is like when you get to work with one of your heroes like Bill Stevenson, it made us all step up our game so much because we were intimidated about we've played with Descendants before, but for all I know, Bill was asleep in the band or on the side of the stage drinking a beer or whatever. So this time I knew like one of my favorite drummers and songwriters is going to be watching me playing in the other room. So it really caused us, I think, to all kind of step up our game quite a bit. We were on our best behavior and very well rehearsed and trying to impress Bill, which was stupid because, he wasn't really impressed by us. But, he either liked the song or didn't like it. If we had a good take, he'd be like, yeah, cool, good take. But, it was good. It was good.
Right. That's got to be impossible to get out of the back of your mind there. Like, Bill Stevenson's in the other room, you can't really escape that.
No, you just kind of have to forget about it and just hope, just do your thing, just get in your zone and do your thing. Ultimately, we were able to do that, so.
That turned out great.
I think that stimulates creativity, though.
It does. And once we were able to get past that, like, kind of weirdness of Bill and maybe him judging us or whatever, which went away pretty quick. We started collaborating, and that was the part that was really awesome because we would just all throw ideas out together.
He's such a great songwriter.
And he was like, just do your thing. And if he had an idea that we didn't like, then we could kibosh it. And he was cool. I mean, he would joke about it like, oh yeah, my idea sucks, right? Yours was so great. but at the end of the day, the best ideas won out. And he wasn't, he didn't demand that all of his ideas get used or anything. So
that's good.
Yeah.
How do you approach writing your lyrics?
Well, I don't know. Can you be more specific?
Do you write the lyrics, or is it a collaborative effort between the group?
I write all the lyrics. So,
yeah.
And it's just always been that way since day one. I think I would find it hard to sing as the singer to try and figure out what the sentiment was from someone else in the band. And I know other bands do it that way, but it's just never been something for me that I felt comfortable doing. So I write the lyrics, and I locked myself literally in a basement for about 2 weeks writing this record, and I tried to just look for inspiration. Actually, the lyrics are not even a little bit literary, but I looked for inspiration in literature, and I just, kind of did an internet search of a bunch of authors and different people that I knew, other people who I admired, found inspiring, and bought a bunch of books and just kind of, went through them and looked for phrases and passages and different things that I thought might have a spark. And that helped me when I got stuck for ideas in a few places here or there.
Dude, that's awesome, man. What kind of what authors? Mark Twain, Hunter S. Thompson. Who did you choose? I can get kind of specific on this because I've listened to Protection like 20 times so far. It's I don't want to say the Big Choice Part 2 or anything like that, but from Velocity to Keep Up Your Chin, man, to me, they're both about perseverance. But people will always get the wrong idea about your music, right? I think I've heard you say that before.
Well, yes, a very wise man said that once, and I took that from him, my friend Chad Blinman. But yeah, people do. You can always count on one thing, and that's for people to get the wrong idea. I know that's a little dark of a sentiment, but it's great when people get the right idea.
A friend of mine gave me like a mini intervention recently. He says I need family origin therapy. My family's I've come from a super dysfunctional family. They put the F in dysfunctional. But honestly, all I have to do is throw on this new Protection record, because for me, listening to Face to Face is therapy. And honestly, that's not BS cliche. If we can just break down some of these tracks, for instance, like 1459. I hope it won't be long until you die. This is a hate song. Shut your gaping mouth. It reminds me of the way I feel towards one of my aunts. Our relationship changed for the worse when my dad died. What the hell is that about, that song right there?
Well, that song is not so specific. It's not about any one particular person, but that you can find something that relates to you, and it is awesome. Even though it's kind of an angry sentiment, I guess. Where I came from, it was a place of people that are just famous for being famous, and how this is it's a trend, that I can't. It really bothers me, and I'm vocal about it all the time. I have kids, and my daughter watches these reality shows and stuff a lot. And I'll just come in the room and be like, "Why are you watching these people? They're famous for nothing. They're total, like, they suck. I think they represent like the lowest rung of entertainment." And it's kind of a bad reflection back on our society. So that was kind of my inspiration for that. So 1459, based on Warhol's "Everyone will be famous for 15 minutes" quote. And the song's just about hoping that these people that are famous for a split second for nothing, I hope it's over, and I hope they die a death in the public eye as soon as possible.
All right, awesome. So you're ode to hating reality TV. Let's see how far off I am on all these. Middling, middling around. You're probably safe in the middle, right where you belong. What is that? Politics, man, or is it just everybody in general plays it safe? They don't put their balls out there on a limb.
That's yeah, you got it. You got it. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Middling around is just about um, my own fear of not pushing myself as far as I can push to be the best version of myself, and playing it safe and staying in the middle. And I think, if you want to be safe and stick in the middle, then that's where you belong, and you're doomed to a life of mediocrity. And
yeah, fuck that.
so that's what that's about.
And so it goes. You call it what you want. It doesn't change a thing. We're all made of flesh and bone, just the same.
Yeah.
That's like straight out of Buddhism, man. Do you meditate or anything like that?
I don't. It's I really I really admire Sam Harris, who's an author and has a great podcast. Incidentally, it's not like the main thing that he does, a podcast, but I think he's a really great author, and I know he's super into meditation. It's like a big part of his whole thing. So because of him, it's something that I thought might be interesting and worth looking into, but I haven't yet.
But Sam Harris, he's the what is he? He doesn't believe in God or something, right? Is that his thing?
Yeah, he has a book called. Wow, I draw a blank all the time when I do only when I do interviews does my brain totally fart out like.
And I do interviews. See, I conduct the interviews, and I do that. So,
I'm gonna think of it in a second, but there's one in particular that I'm thinking of that I'm just so drawing a blank on right now. It'll come to me in a second. No, so I mean, but while I'm thinking of that, and so it goes is just about human nature, and it's about how we pick apart other humans and try and break them down. And we're basically all humans, so we should treat each other with kindness. But the whole "and so it goes" sentiment just goes that I don't see that there's any real end to this cycle. It's the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the last one, I won't say I'm sorry. I won't say I'm sorry. I won't take it back a single word. This is exactly how I feel. Take me at my word. It don't matter how you feel. Would you consider yourself brutally honest?
Yeah, that song for me, it's kind of a pop culture reference, not like 1459. It's not about any one in particular, but I notice a lot in the media over the past couple of years, like all of these people just constantly just acting. They'll do things where they act out like complete assholes, and then they have to go and issue some bullshit apology. And I think that you should just act accordingly so that you never have to issue some fake apology. And what really is going on is people are acting the way they want to, but in order to save face, social media or whatever, then they have to issue these kind of stupid half-hearted apologies later. And I kind of miss the era when, men were men, and, like guys like Steve McQueen, Clint Eastwood, and, people that were people that were famous, and just kind of did their thing and didn't have to apologize constantly to satisfy political correctness or their own poor behavior.
See, I'm pulling a Frank Sinatra right now, but it's I got the blue water though, so I don't have like
there you go.
Whatever he had, Jack and Coke, whatever, some kind of hard liquor in his hand. But you're right, man. Absolutely, it's definitely it's so sad. You got to watch out what I say on this. We get people writing in and saying you shouldn't have said that joke or whatever it was. But definitely, you know what? I want to say thank you for helping me with my Spanish-speaking women. Me and my first Costa Rican girlfriend bonded over the Big Choice record. What is it about punk rock, man? Most specifically, Face to Face and down south. South America, Central America. How are the shows down there? And are you planning on touring south of the border soon for this new Protection record?
Man, I really don't know. It's I love it. I love how supportive the fans are in South America and Brazil in particular. We have amazing fans in Brazil, and then all the way up into Central America and Costa Rica. And we've played Panama before, and that was great. And I think we're not far off from being able to go to Colombia in the near future. And I'd love to get to Chile too, which we've never been to. I don't know, something about the cultures, something that runs through the culture, through Central and South America. They love their punk rock, man.
I know.
They get it.
It's awesome.
They just get it. And, it's great to see that despite a language barrier, people just understand the sentiment and they can key into it,
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a current event question. What are your thoughts on punk rock bowling being expanded to Denver and Jersey markets?
I was aware of a Jersey one. I didn't know there was a Denver punk rock bowling as well.
Oh, yeah. That's a new one. That was brand new in the news.
Interesting.
Brand new in the news. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I mean, I don't know. Who cares, right? I mean, it just gives you another way to show your, get your music out to a different city, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of moving that way. Like festivals have been starting to overtake club shows. So I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess it's good for bands because we get paid more money to just go do one big festival. But as a concert goer, there's fewer and fewer people that are willing to go into clubs, and that's really where the raw energy of good punk rock shows used to be. But even us, we're going to be probably doing far less club shows on this round for protection. I'm trying to work on something with a good package and put together a bunch of really great bands to do something hopefully later in the fall. But for now, we're just doing some festival dates and more one-off type things like that. We're playing punk rock bowling, as a matter of fact, in Las Vegas. But we're not doing the other two markets that I know of. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? This is my stupid question. I have to have one really stupid question. This is such a long shot. I know you're not going to remember this at all. You've done a million zillion shows. But speaking of festivals, Warped Tour, Orlando. I think it was 95 or 96, not sure.
Oh boy.
You told me I was awesome. Maybe it was a mismemory. I'm not sure, but do you have any recollection at all of a very tattooed teenage idiot clearing the pit during your Orlando Warped Tour set, and you pointing to that individual and saying something to the extent of that dude right there is awesome?
I totally remember that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't.
Have you ever done that? Be known to do that to somebody? I mean, do you get pretty vocal when you're talking up there sometimes, right?
Did you say this was in the 90s?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
yeah.
a long time ago. And
I was 15, 16 years old, man. Anyway.
There's a lot of shows on a Warped Tour, and you play them every single day. So
yeah,
it's hard to remember the events of each day on a Warped Tour. It all kind of goes. By the time you're done with a Warped Tour, it's almost like you had your mind erased or somewhere, had a lobotomy. It all kind of blends together, man. But
I got one more question before I pass it off to him for a couple.
I'm sorry, I feel like I made you feel bad now.
No, you didn't. You didn't at all. Not at all. Hey, listen, I asked Millencolin if they remembered a guy, a tattoo artist, who had all their name. They actually each signed their signature into his leg, and I asked them about it, and they totally remembered it, knew it, the whole story, and it's just you never know. So I just asked random things. You never know when one's going to connect. But anyway, Disconnected. I always wanted to know the producer at the end, that conversation you're having about whether to put that on the record or not. Was that real?
It was real in the sense that they actually were the real label owner and A&R guy that were in the room and recorded that with us. But we kind of set it up ahead of time, so we weren't reading from scripts or anything, but we said, okay, well, this is what went down. We'd already obviously put Disconnected out on Don't Turn Away, and then when we signed to that Victory Music label, they released an EP called Over It first before they did the full length to kind of test the market. I think maybe more to see if they knew how to sell records to our fans or not. And then so Disconnected started getting played on the radio based on the EP, but we had Big Choice done and ready to be released. So we're like, oh, dude, and it was a good problem to have because the biggest radio station in Los Angeles, and one of the biggest, if not the biggest at the time in the country, was playing our song. But the label came to us and said, you got to strip this song onto your new album or they're going to quit playing it. So we were like, fuck, what do we do? So the solution we came up with was, let's make fun of the fact that we're doing this, and we'll only do it if you guys agree to come in the studio and we can set up this sketch about you demanding us to put it on the record. And they were good sports, and they played along with it. And actually, it was ad-libbed, and it's a little stiff and weird, but it actually ended up being like a funny thing. So it's funny because it seems irrelevant now, but at the time it was like this huge problem for us to solve.
Right.
But the 90s were a different time, man. Everybody was worried about, protecting their punk cred, and you were called a sellout every time you turned around or made a move. So not so much anymore.
That's a pretty good example of the differences between the majors and the independent labels. Like back when before you had any outside management, who took charge and who was the tour manager and in the band?
I guess it would have been me. I was always the kind of the business end of the band. So before we had agents and stuff, I was the guy calling the clubs and getting us booked at different clubs around LA and stuff.
Yeah. Was it a struggle back then?
Yeah. It seems like it's always a struggle. It's just you're at a different level, but this is a business that even with some or a lot of a level of success or whatever people perceive it to be, it always feels like a fight to some degree. Not the part with the fans and the band. That's the good part, it's so good that it's worth putting up with all the other bullshit.
Right.
But I found it that it's pretty much a struggle at any level.
Yeah.
It always is there's some hassle that goes along with trying to conduct business in music.
Sure. I play in a bunch of like DIY punk bands as well, and we've been through many different tour vehicles, like different styles of vans and things. What's been the progression of your tour vehicles over the years?
The fart bus.
Yeah. Do you guys still travel in a van, or have you gone to a bus, or?
Well, it started out where
private jets.
We saved up enough money. I think we saved up a couple of $1,000s from playing local shows, and we bought this old shitty Ford van. That was the first thing that we got, and we kind of built this box in the back so that we could load gear, but then you could sleep on top of it, the
totally
kind of thing. And we drove that thing almost pretty much until it died. And then when we signed to Victory Music, we got a little bit of an advance, and we used almost all of that money to buy an airport van. So it was just the longer extended version, like a shuttle bus. Mm-hmm. And we went to Home Depot and bought a bunch of lumber and built bunks and kind of tricked that whole thing out. And we toured in that for 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. And then we were able to start doing well enough on tour that we could afford to rent a tour bus whenever we had tours. And we did that for quite a while. And right up until the last time we toured, when we did the Teenage Bottle Rocket and Blacklist Royals, Joshua Black Wilkins tour, which I guess was a couple, 3 years ago now. Yeah. But lately we've just been flying into shows, on Southwest or whatever.
Yeah.
And then renting a van.
Yeah.
And, since it's weird, like we haven't strung weeks and weeks of shows together in a few years now, and I'm not really sure if that system is coming back anytime soon. It seems to make more sense to do little groups of shows, maybe do a week's worth of shows, and then come home and then fly back out and do another week's worth of shows in another geographical area. I think the market's changing a little bit, like I said earlier, because of the festivals.
Yeah.
You can do. So then you kind of like book a festival as an anchor, and then you can regionally do a bunch of shows around that. So, the rental van has kind of made its way back because there's no sense in renting a tour bus to go and do a bunch of shows around a festival or whatever.
Right.
So that's kind of where it's at for now.
Yeah. That tour you mentioned with Teenage Bottle Rocket, that came through Reno. Do you have any specific memories of ever playing in Reno? I live in Reno, Nevada, by the way.
Okay. I do, because it was like the second or third show of the tour, and it was the first show that Teenage Bottle Rocket joined us on.
Okay.
It was cool. It was at the Knitting Factory.
Yep. Yeah, my friends in Beer Can opened for you guys.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, yes. That I do remember because it was recent.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other like you guys have played Reno a bunch over the years? Any weird stories about the town or?
There used to be this weird club in Reno that was it wasn't near where Knitting Factory is, but it was. I remember it was very close to railroad tracks. It was like an old ice house or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I think that's a strip club now. It's called the Spice House.
Okay. That's when Reno used to be real weird, you know? Like, it seems like it's gotten a little bit mellower over the years, but
right.
That venue had some weird, like, you know, archaic barricade thing that was all way oversized and, like, came up to your chest or something. It was kind of a trippy place to play. I don't remember that yet. But Knitting Factory.
I was too young for that.
Knitting Factory's decent. That's been a decent place to go and play.
Yeah, unfortunately that place just shut down. But,
did it really?
Yeah, but there's some new spots in town too to come back to. So.
Yeah, the downtown part of Reno, where all the old casinos and stuff are, is so fucking seedy, dude. I wish.
Oh yeah.
I wish a cool place to play would come up somewhere else that wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just like weird old people smoking cigarettes. It's just. You don't
want to do much walking around.
You can smell the misery and the despair hanging in the air around there. People
Absolutely.
Just trying to gamble their last 50 cents, you know, it's lame. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, man. What do you think about my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida?
St. Petersburg. You have the Salvador Dali Museum, right?
Yeah, but you know, experience playing there or whatever. Janus Landing or the State Theater there. Have you?
Yeah, man. The shows, no knock on Reno, but in St. Pete, they're about 1 million times better. Like the fans in St. Petersburg are rabid, and lots of people show up for shows down there. And in Reno, it's a little bit more of a fight. I don't know how vibrant the punk rock scene is.
It's hit or miss for sure.
Yeah. But in St. Pete, it's a hit almost every time. So that's a good place to go. I like playing shows there.
Yeah. Any memories from the very first face-to-face show? Like,
oh God, no! Of course not.
It's going to be an amalgamation of memories, I guess.
Right.
We were called Zero Tolerance, and I think that would be really the first face-to-face show. And it was just basically like a buddy of ours used to print T-shirts, and he had a print shop, and he would do bootleg shirts for us, kind of on the side. And we got him to let us set up in the warehouse, kind of build a stage over to one side, and I think we maybe had like 6 original songs we wrote and probably played like 6 covers. And so it was like a kegger party kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be the very first one. I don't really remember when we changed our name to Face to Face what the first show was, but it was probably at Spanky's in Riverside. We seemed to play that place more than anywhere else, which hasn't existed for decades now, or maybe at least a decade or more.
Right.
I'm gonna build a fucking stage in my T-shirt print shop.
There you go. Lots of bands will want to come and play there.
Yep.
I'll come play there, Bobby.
All right, no problem.
Print shirts on demand. You know, just don't even set up merch. Just right if someone orders one, print it up and hand it to them right off the thing.
Is that what your buddy was doing there?
No, we moved all the printing stuff over to the sides.
Okay.
You know, we didn't want people to get hurt.
Okay. I'm sorry for stepping on you.
Oh, it's all good. Do you ever go see shows in Nashville? Like see some local bands out there? I know there's a bunch of. I'm friends with a couple good bands from there.
I have. My friends in Blacklist Royals play around town somewhat frequently, so I've been to Exit Inn to see them before. I've been to the Inn to see them. I've been to the 5 Spot in East Nashville. I don't know if you know any of these places.
Some of them, yeah.
I've been lucky enough to see one of my favorite people is not in Nashville, but Morrissey. I got to see Morrissey at the Ryman, which was fucking awesome. It was really.
Yeah.
And I've been to the Ryman a couple times. I got to see Social Distortion at the Ryman too when they were through last, playing the self-titled record from front to back, and that was a great show. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I've been to Mercy Lounge a couple times too. Seen some Mercy Lounge. Yeah, cool. I don't go out every weekend or anything, but when there's someone cool playing, I'll definitely go.
Sure.
You got anything else, Chris?
Let's see. Oh, I did have a question about your old DIY touring days. When was the last, like, do you remember sleeping on a stage that you played on? Or like,
I got the question
yeah,
is. I got a question for you instead, Chris. When was the last time you slept on a stage?
Oh man, last week or something.
Really?
Like definitely the last tour I did. Yes.
All right. So, is this something that you remember us doing? Like,
no, I'm just
on a stage, because I don't know about that one.
I'm just curious if you guys ever experienced that on the road, like not finding a place to stay, but the venue's like, yeah, you guys can stay here, I guess, and you just end up sleeping on stage.
That one we never did before, but we have, like, there's lots of nights where we would. As a matter of fact, when we first started touring and like going out and playing shows away from our Southern California area, that job kind of fell to Matt pretty early, our original bass player. So at some point during our set, Matt would go, "Hey, we don't have anywhere to stay tonight, so if anybody's got it like an open basement or something, just let us know after the show." And that worked out pretty good for a couple of tours, but we ended up in some pretty crazy, weird basement areas. Alcohol usually helps a lot with that in terms of being able to get to sleep or just not remember anything from the night before. But man, I can remember staying in some basements that looked like mines. Like they weren't. I don't even know how it was considered a basement. You could see the rock that the foundation was carved out of and stuff, and dirt floors, and we've done our fair share of that kind of stuff. But it used to be cool. Like occasionally you get lucky, and the dude's house that you stayed, it was usually dudes, unfortunately. But the guy's house you'd stay at, like sometimes if mom was cool, she would like make breakfast in the morning or whatever. So those mornings were bonus. But
for sure.
Okay, let's wind this down. Let me ask you my James Lipton ripoff question. If you were on death row and you were ordering your last meal, what would it be?
Oh, dude, I'm way too much of a food lover to pick any one food.
Come on, you got to. I'm sorry. You have to. Right now. Pick it. The guy's there. What's your order going to be? I should have given you a heads up on this, actually.
That's a rough one. Probably some kind of Mexican food. That's usually what I'd like more than.
Well, you're from Southern California area or whatever. Isn't that what they eat for breakfast? Have a breakfast burrito, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe something from Paquito Mas, which is like one of my favorite places in Southern California.
Nice. That sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. I could see that one. Perfect. Okay. We played Double Crossed on our last episode, and I'm aware that you guys just premiered another new track last week, the first track called Bent But Not Broken. We can roll with that one, but would it be cool if we spun 1459?
Yeah, why not? Go for it.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, then.
I'm gonna tell Fat Records it was your fault. You're supposed to keep the lid on these, but no, if you have the whole record, play whichever one you want. It's all good.
Well, I'm gonna play that one because I like that hate song.
And we set it up, so we might as well. You know what's lame is I still didn't remember the Sam Harris book. That's the one that he's the most famous for. Like,
oh, hold on. I'll get it. Sam Harris.
You know what? I keep thinking of God Is Not Great, but that's Christopher Hitchens.
That's Christopher Hitchens. Yeah, I've read that one.
I keep going to like Dawkins and Hitchens. It's called
recommendation. Hold on one second. I'll find it.
There's one in particular I'm thinking of. It's like
The End of Faith.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's hell to be in your 40s. It only gets worse. You just keep forgetting shit constantly. It's a bummer.
It's also because you have a lot of new experiences all the time. People that sit on the couch and don't do anything. You ever have people go, you remember when we were growing up and oh wait, you do. I just did that to you before. Actually, forget it. I'm sorry. I take that back. Anyway, listen, Trever, thank you so much for being on here, man.
Right on. Thank you.
Face to Face, man, out with a new record called Protection. Pre-orders available right now. The album drops March 4th via Fat Records. Trever, thank you so much for the interview. I very much appreciate it, man.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Okay, now
Yours-
hold on one sec. Station ID, man. Can you say, hey, introduce yourself, and you're listening to Dying Scene Radio. You can jazz it up however you like.
Okay. Hey, what's up? This is Trever Keith from Face to Face, and you're listening to Dying Scene Radio.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. All right, see you later.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right,
Cheers.
bye-bye. Cool.
Hell yeah.
All right, let me stop the broadcast now.